And welcome in now, everybody, to our cornerback tiers rankings. We just ended up doing our receivers, part of this 24-hour charity stream. I do want to remind you guys that you can go ahead and donate if you're joining us here in the live chat. We are now, as of this moment, at $1,038 towards our $1,500 goal here on this 24-hour stream. That is for March of Dimes. And for the chat, super chat donations, we are now at a whopping $750 that is going to be going to the Special Olympics. Unreal, you guys. Thank you, everybody that has donated to this point. We aren't even halfway through this thing. I'm probably a psychopath, but at least I'm a psychopath that's giving to charity. I'm on Red Bull number 1. I've had a Coke coffee. I might be a little bit caffeinated right now. But let's have some fun and do our cornerback rankings. We already did the controversial receiver ones. So again, like I said, I tried to get as many guys as I could. I think I actually have 102 corners on here. That's why I didn't have the faces, because it was just going to be too much to make that template, because I did have to make this template. So if there's a guy that got snubbed off the list, I do apologize. As far as what our tiers are, they're a little bit different than our wide receiver tiers, although some similarities. So you have the elite tier, you got high-end number 1 tier, quality number 1 tier, elite slot guy, high-end number 2, high-end number 2, quality slot guy. So those are all starting caliber players. Then you have intriguing prospects, boundary, like guys that can play on the outside. You have intriguing prospects for the slot. And then you have the please tell me this guy isn't starting list. And we all know who's going to be in there. So let's go ahead and get started. Paulson Adebo is first man up. And that's going to be interesting prospect boundary. I think you can make a case that he's already a quality number 2, but let's be tame for our first corner here. Also, $20 donation from Shane for the Special Olympics. Thank you, my friend. Great donation. Need a couple sound bites for that. Let's see. What else do we have here? I mean, how about, this is really irrelevant, but how about the Tony Romo play under review sound bite that we use for our rebuilds? Adoree Jackson for the Giants now is going to be, to me, a high-end number 2. Not necessarily doing like the whole potential thing right now like we did with the receivers, which I might end up regretting. A little bit more of like what he is right now. But I think Adoree would be high-end number 2. I don't think he's established himself as a 1. Mackenzie Alexander, definition of a quality slot. Robert Alford, really low-end number 2. Borderline, please tell me he's not starting because of his injuries, but when healthy, we'll go very low-end number 2. Avonte Maddox, I would almost throw him in the intriguing slot category. Amani Oruwariye is going to be an intriguing boundary player with Paulson Adebo. Borderline number 2, but I don't think he's there yet. Ambry Thomas, intriguing boundary prospect for the Niners' 3rd round pick, who I liked. Asante Samuel Jr., I'm ready. I'm ready to at least put him in here. I feel so good about what he's going to do. I think he's going to enter the league as a quality starter, and I think he's going to exceed that. Chidobe Awuzie, he's a high-end number 2. Behind Adoree, but he's a good number 2 corner. Rough year in Dallas last year, but I think he'll bounce back. Rashad Breeland, right there with Robert Alford, type of veteran guy there. Byron Jones, quality. He could be a quality number 1. He could be a quality number 1. I know he's a number 2 on the Dolphins, but Bless One Austin, right there with these guys. I guess I'd take Paulson Adebo over him, but I think I'd take him over Ambry Thomas. AJ Bouye, he is at this point probably just a quality number 2, and I would take Asante over him. He hasn't been the same guy for a while now. Bryce Callahan, definition of an elite slot. Going to be hard for anybody to take him off of that. He can even step in and be a quality number 1 at times. Cam Sutton, interesting slot prospect, but he's already a quality slot. I don't think he's an elite slot yet, but he's a quality slot. Cam Dantzler, let me just respond to this real quick. Okay, Cam Dantzler, I think you got to put him still as a prospect, but really good chance to exceed that. Casey Hayward, I think he's still a quality number 2, and I think you could probably put him ahead of Asante Samuel for now. Carlton Davis, he's a high-end 2, I think. I don't really see him becoming a number 1. Really good press player. Probably better than Adoree. A little one-dimensional. Surrounded with really good talent, but he's a legit high-end number 2. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, borderline elite slot, but I think we move him down here. CJ Henderson, already a good starter. Obviously a lot of upside there. I think you put him at the top of here, but he would be, if we were doing potential, he would be in an ascending tier. Corn Elder, I'll just go bottom end of the quality slot. Ronald Darby, not to be mistaken for Bradley Roby. He is a high-end number 2, and I think I'd put him right there. Desmond King, I still think in the right system, he's playing that cover 2 Tampa 2 defense this year. I still think he can be an elite slot for the Houston Texans. Desmond Trufant, down here. Yep, right there. Perfect spot. Pierre Desir right there with those guys, probably at the bottom. DJ Reed, interesting player. We know he's a kind of a quality slot, but he actually played outside for the Seattle Seahawks and played pretty well. I'm gonna put him in here because he is intriguing as a boundary player. I think I'll put him behind these better physical specimens, but do keep an eye on DJ Reed. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins out that starting job in Seattle. David Long, definitely an intriguing slot. I mean, he's going to be a slot for the Rams, so I might as well put him in there. He could do both. He could go either way. But I like David Long. They clearly do too. I want him up there. But we'll put him there for now. I mean, he could be in either of these. Dante Jackson he's like in the CJ Henderson conversation. A guy that could get up to a number 1, but he's not. Darius Phillips is an underrated player. I think he's a quality number 2. Quality slot. Quality slot. He's going to be their slot. Well, not really. They have Mike Hilton. He's a tough guy to know what to do with. I guess you could throw him in here. You could throw him in here with like Amani Arawaria. He's not proven yet. Darius Slay, quality number 1. Pretty straightforward there. Quentin Dunbar is... he was so rough last year. I still believe in Quentin Dunbar. I think that's kind of the breadth of players that he's with. I don't think he's a please tell me he's not starting guy. I think he's okay. Caleb Farley, let's assume health here, has got to be right there with these guys, and I would put him right there. That's assuming health, of course. Rashad Fenton, underrated player, quality slot. I'd put him behind Cam Sutton. He can do a little more than slot, but Christian Fulton, interesting boundary prospect. I still like him. Dantzler was pretty good. I'll put Fulton. I like our Warrior. I'll put Fulton right here. Stephon Gilmore, still a high-end number 1. Still got it, in my opinion. A little bit of a down year last year, but I don't think he's slowing down to some massive degree. Greedy Williams, I think you got to put as a prospect at this point, but I'd put him at the top of that list. Greg Newsome, I think, can step in and play right away. He's got to be... I don't think he's at the level of these 3, though, so I would slide him down probably to, like, here. I think that's a good spot for him. Shaq Griffin. Pretty good player. He's right there with Chidobe Awuzie. I think that's about right there. These guys all got very similar free agent deals, so I think that's a good... And Adoree Jackson, too. These guys all just kind of changed teams. Joe Hayden, still a quality number 2, but on the downturn. Very similar to A.J. Bouye. I think he's a little better than Bouye, though. Do I? Yeah. Really close. Bryce Hall, an interesting boundary prospect. I'm just going to put him right next to Bless One Austin, honestly. I like him a little better. But, yeah, those guys are neck and neck for me. Chris Harris Jr. Is he still an elite slot? Probably not. I don't think he is anymore. I think you've really seen him slow down. He's still a good player, but I'm not ready to say he's an elite slot. Mike Hilton is. Mike Hilton definitely is. I think you can even put Mike Hilton ahead of Desmond King. J.C. Horn. Thank you, Synthros. Appreciate it. Very kind donation. Appreciate that. You like that? You like that? Again, guys, all super chats going to the Special Olympics today. Okay, J.C. Horn. Obviously goes right in this group. I guess... You know, I think because for this exercise we're able to assume health, I'll put him right behind Caleb Farley. I actually... I think I believe... Oh, God, that's hard. I like both these players a lot. J.C. Horn and C.J. Henderson. I'm a little lower on Horn than most people, but I still think he's going to be a stud. Honestly, Dante Jackson should probably be ahead of... this is so hard. These guys are super tight. You know what? If these 3 are here, Dante Jackson should be up there with them. Dante Jackson's a high-end number 2. And him and Adoree are super close. I think that's a good adjustment there. And then I don't know what to do here, chat. Can I designate my scheme fit? If I'm in a cover 3 defense, I want J.C. Horn. If I'm in a man coverage defense, I want C.J. Henderson. I think C.J. Henderson's... I don't know. Either way I do this, someone's going to be mad at me. But Panthers fans are probably going to be more mad at me if I don't do that. So I'm going to go that way. I'm taking the cop out. Isaiah Oliver. He's kind of still a prospect in my mind. He's right here with these dudes. I'd put him here. Here. Jair, elite. Shouldn't get any debate on that. James Bradbury is... if Slay and Byron Jones are quality number 1s, then James Bradbury should be a number 1. I think I'd put him ahead of Slay. Yeah, sure, I'll put him ahead of Byron Jones. Janoris Jenkins is still a quality number 2. Right there with like Trufant and Bouye. I would put him ahead of those 2. Jason Verrett, quality number 2. I'm going to put him right... I'll put him right there. It's a good spot for him. Jalen Johnson. I don't think of him as a prospect because he was so ready to go. He was the most pro-ready corner in my opinion. And he was, as a rookie, really sound. He'll continue to get better. I don't think he's going to be super high-end, but I think he's a good player. I think he's right there in this group. Let's just put him next to Trufant, but I think he's better than Trufant. So I'll put him right there. J.C. Jackson. High-end, quality number one. Quality number one. Let's not go crazy here, but he is awesome, dude. I can't believe nobody offered a first-round tender for J.C. Jackson. I'm gonna put him right there. Jamel Dean, really tempted to put him here. Hasn't quite been consistent enough for that though. These two Bucks corners. I do like Dean a little better than Carlton Davis personally, but Davis has actually played better. Dean has a higher upside, but Davis is better now, so take that for whatever you want. Jeff Gladney, interesting slot, I guess. Jeff Okudah, you got to put him here at the top of the list, but he did not show to be a starting caliber player as a rookie. I think you put him in this group at the top of that group, but Jimmy Smith can still play. I'll throw him in here with that group. I don't know. That's hard where he belongs in there, but he doesn't play a ton. That's the hard thing with Jimmy Smith, but I'll put him in there. It's good when he's out there. Jonathan Jones, elite slot. What's up, Nalter Deeds? Excited to have you on soon. About 4 hours. Jonathan Jones is an elite slot, man. The dude can run with anybody. I'm a big fan of Jonathan Jones. He's up there with those guys. Kelvin Joseph. Pretty easy placement there. I'd put him... I had a Debo higher on my draft board. I should stick by that. I'll put him right there. Kendall Fuller. Definition to me of a quality number 2, and we will put him, high-end number 2 is what I meant to say, and I'm going to put him, I think Fuller has a better year, so I'll do that. Kenny Moore, obviously elite slot. Kwan Williams, good slot. Good quality slot. I'll slide him right there. Kyle Fuller. Where's Kendall Fuller? Let's put him right next to him. Although Kyle's a little bit older. So maybe... There you go, Nalter Deeds. Literally no one is going to get that reference. No one is going to get that reference, but thank you for the donation. Myself and the Special Olympics greatly appreciate it. But, yeah, Kyle Fuller, not quite as good as Kendall anymore, but he's still really good. I think... that's tough. He's in there. He's in this group. These guys are all super tight. I'll put him at the end of that tier. I don't know. I don't feel good about that, though. I really don't feel good about that. I think he's a smarter player than those three. I'll slide him right there. Marshawn Lattimore, still a quality number 1 to me, and I'm gonna put him way up there. I don't know if that's gonna be controversial or not, but Levi Wallace, still kind of a prospect in a lot of ways to me. I'll put him behind Amani Oruwariye. Jordan Lewis, quality slot? Kind of? Similar to Rashad Fenton. Can play a little outside, a little inside. Quality corner. Marco Wilson, intriguing, balanced boundary player. And I will put him behind... Put him right there. Marlon Humphrey. Yeah. High-end number 1. Not elite, because his coverage isn't Jair good. It's not Jalen Ramsey good, but gotta love how he peanut punches the ball, too. So we'll put him there. Malcolm Butler, quality number 2. Pretty easy there. He still can play. I'll put him like right ahead of Joe Hayden. Michael Davis, quality number 2. Lower end, but he's fine. I'll put him right ahead of Brashad Breeland. Jimmy Moreland, quality slot. Towards the bottom of that list, but quality slot. Trayvon Mullen, he's either down here or he's in here. The question is his upside good enough to be in the prospect group? Why not? I don't know. I don't know. I like Trayvon Mullen. I don't think he's great. I'll put him there with like Michael Davis. I think that's a pretty good spot for him right there. Because we're not necessarily doing upside here. He's right there with Greg Newsome, who's prospect. Thank you, Brandon, for the donation. If I could do 1 high-end elite and 2 quality starters and 2 interesting prospects for depth, which players would I choose? It's a great question. Let me finish. Let me see if I can finish the whole thing, and then I'll try to remember to come back to you. If I forget, don't let me forget. Byron Murphy, probably in here right now. They're moving him into the slot. I still really like Byron Murphy. I think I'm going to put him right there behind Chris Harris. He could be a quality number 2 as well. He's, either in here or up here. Depends how you want to view him. Noah Igbinoghene is an intriguing, especially if they're trading Xavier Howard. He's an intriguing balanced boundary, and I think I'm going to put him right there. First round pick for a reason. Super high upside. Patrick Peterson is a quality number 2 right here with this group. I think he's probably a little better than Jalen Johnson, AJ Bouye, Janoris Jenkins. This is a tough group. Right there. Marcus Peters. Quality number 1. Low end quality number 1. He's better than Darius Slay at this point. He's probably better than Byron Jones too. Brian Poole, quality slot. I'll put him there, right next to Chauncey, his teammate. Jalen Ramsey, elite. I've always said, guys, if I'm in a zone-heavy scheme, give me Jalen. If I'm in a man-heavy scheme, give me Jair. Those 2 guys they're the only 2 elite corners for me. They're in a tier of their own. I don't have any issue with one or the other. It's literally a matter of preference. If you want a guy that can run man coverage, I would take Jair Alexander. If you want that physical zone corner, Jalen Ramsey. It's not even worth debating at a high level, but I will put Jalen Ramsey at the top. It's going great. No, I'm doing great. I'm going to probably take a break here after this video, so I'll check in with you shortly. Huh? If you have to. Can you wait till I finish this? Because this is going to get uploaded as a video when I'm done. Yeah. Is everything okay? I just got a notification on my PC. I'm just going to clap because I'm going to edit this when all is said and done, so now I know where it is, where that was. All right. Bradley Roby. Good number 2. He's right there with Darb. He's right there with these guys. I think I'd put him in between those 2. Rock Yassin is still kind of a prospect and not one I believe in that much. I'd put him here. Actually, yeah, because Joseph's really raw. I'm actually going to reorder this. I think Bryce Hall's a better player right now than Kelvin Joseph. Isaiah Oliver's a better player right now than Kelvin Joseph. Plus One Austin's better. Yeah, that looks a little better. And then Rocky Sin can now come right here. That's much better. Richard Sherman. Quality number 2. Probably down here with like Jimmy Smith. Slide him in there. We'll see if he plays this year. Sidney Jones. Quality number 2. Not a high-end guy, but he was pretty good when he came back last year. I'll put him between Breland and Quentin Dunbar. Sean Murphy Bunting. I like Sean Murphy Bunting. I think he's a good number 2 guy. Towards the bottom, like more towards this group. But ascending. I think maybe right there behind Asante Samuel. L'Jarius Sneed is a quality number 2. I think L'Jarius belongs up here with these guys. Probably behind those 3, but L'Jarius is awesome. Steven Nelson, quality number 2. I'd put him right there. Eric Stokes. Interesting boundary prospect. And I think you'd take Stokes over Dantzler. So we'll put him right there. Chandon Sullivan. I guess he's a quality slot. I don't know. He was fine last year. He got obliterated in the NFC Championship, but I don't know. He's not better than a lot of these guys, that's for sure. We should maybe just do that. Maybe. I don't know. They're different positions. It doesn't matter. You guys can figure it out. Patrick Surtain, I think, right here with these guys, I think he might not have as high of an upside as these other guys, but I think he's a better player right now. I mean, he had the highest grade coming out of any of those guys for me. So I'm going to put him there. Tavon Young is a quality slot. I think I'll slide him behind Cam Sutton. Yeah, it's a good spot. AJ Terrell. He was good last year. He's definitely starting caliber. He's got to be up here. Probably right in there. AJ Terrell or Sean Murphy Bunting. Terrell was just a rookie. Probably going to develop better. Yeah, we'll go Terrell over Murphy Bunting. Don't feel great about that, but Teron Johnson is a quality slot for the Bills. I think... You know what? I'm going to move these guys up a little bit ahead of Brian Poole. And then I'm going to move Teron Johnson down here. Trey Flowers. Please tell me he's not starting. Dude is trash. Trayvon Diggs is intriguing, balanced boundary. I think I would put him... I'm going to put him right there. Good group for him right there. Trey White, got to come up here. I think I'd go Trey White 4 for me. Not elite, but high-end number 1. Troy Hill is a quality number 2 player. That was a good pickup for the Browns. I think you put him somewhere in this group. Hang on. I'm going to move Steven Nelson up a little bit. I mean, Steven Nelson was better than Joe Hayden last year. He's better than Malcolm Butler. And then I'm going to take Troy Hill and put him right behind Steven Nelson. Tyson Campbell. I had him and Stokes neck and neck. I think he's a little better than Stokes. So I'm going to put him there. Stokes is a technically higher upside, but I think Campbell's a better player right now. Travarius Ward is a good number 2. he's got to come in probably, yeah, like right here. Since we let some of these other guys get guaranteed health, I'll put Jason Verrett above him. Denzel Ward, I still have a lot of faith in Denzel. I would actually put him in the high-end number 1 group. I have a lot of faith in Denzel Ward. Trey Waynes is a quality number 2. Kind of in this discussion. I'll put him right behind Steven Nelson. Darius Williams, high-end number 2 after what we saw last year. I think I'll put him between Kyle Fuller and Dante Jackson. That dude's so fun to watch. William Jackson. I'm going to go at the top of the high-end number 2 list, but I think he can get into this group. I think he can get into that group with the Washington team next year. Akello Witherspoon, please tell me he's not starting. Xavier Rhodes, he's still a good number 2. He's like right there with like Casey Hayward, I would say. I'll put him ahead of Casey Hayward. Good veterans, not great athletes at this point, but good player. And then Xavier Howard, I'm going to put here. I think he's a quality number 1. I don't think he's that close to elite. I think all these guys have a relatively high amount of inconsistency, or in James Bradbury's case, it just doesn't have like the man coverage ability that I typically like to see. Josh, you can't pay me to move up Greg Newsome. I feel the way I feel. Where do I have Greg Newsome? Right here? Oh yeah, he should be ahead of Jalen Johnson. I'll move him ahead of these vets. Yeah, you're right. He got buried. All right, fine. You're right. I agree. But yeah, there's the list. Another fun video going through these corners. I don't know what the biggest controversies are there. We didn't seem to have quite as much controversy on this one. Maybe Xavier Howard will trigger some people, but I just don't think from a coverage aspect he's in the same group as those guys. So, yeah, that was fun again. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button after I condense this into its own video.